Hello everybody, welcome to the HCW Podcast. This week we will be reviewing WWE Smackdown, WWE Raw, and AEW Dynamite. Roll intro.
HCW Reviews.
Hello everyone and welcome to the show. I'm Frozzy, joined as always by Rate Wrestle. RGX is away on assignment this week and DP's in the bin. So we will roll with the two-man show. So as I said in the intro, Smackdown, Raw, Dynamite. Let's review this week's wrestling. Is everything okay with you though, Ray, before we get started?
I'm glad you're asking me how I was. I thought we were just going straight in. Yeah, I'm living the dream. I'm editing this video, so if it goes terribly wrong, it's not my fault. It's because RGX abandoned us. And how have you been today?
Yeah, just still a little bit rough. I was rough last week on last week's video, but this week I just feel like I'm just dying. But yeah, we move and we keep going. I've been off work today to save my voice for this podcast. So yeah, I know. No, that's not why I've done it at all. But that's the story we'll go with. And yeah. But if you want to kick us off, right, with Friday Night Smackdown.
Yeah, that's sound. And before we kick off, everyone, please like and subscribe and comment down below.
Do that at the end.
Yeah, but if no one reaches the end on our videos, so we'll get it in now. So, SmackDown kicked off with a match which I was looking forward to straight away, which was Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes. So I really enjoyed this match. I rated it 3 3/4. It was a very good start of the match. It was just complete chaos, and everyone had kind of like a highlighted part in the matchup.
Yeah, they did the bit again, didn't they, with Sheamus and Gunther, while everyone else was going nuts. Yeah, and it was good. I love it.
But yeah,
just let them fight forever.
Yeah, it was a really good match. Overall, really enjoyable.
Yeah.
So great way to kick off SmackDown. Just absolute chaos. Everyone was highlighting. It was fun. Then followed by, which normally I don't mention the video package, but this was a special video package because it wasn't a video package. It mentioned that obviously the passing of Queen Elizabeth, which was nice to see on SmackDown that they actually acknowledged that. And we'll move on from that. So started with the Bloodline. So it was the whole welcoming Solar into the actual team. And then they just discussed how he obviously kept the Tribal Chiefs Championship. Then McIntyre came in with a chair, and he was about to clock Solar with the chair, but Zayn dived in because Zayn is that guy now that he's taken the bullet for the Bloodline.
Yeah. Zayn was so good in this segment, all round, even with promo and everything like that. It was great.
Yeah, Zayn's probably the highest part of SmackDown in my eyes now.
He is,
it's just so fun. But I like that Solar's joined, and he's a different version of the Usos. He's more of the hard hitting Brute, which is great as well.
Yeah.
And then followed by this, we had Rakalia, is what I've called them here, versus Toxic Attraction. This was pretty much the same old. Aaliyah's getting battered. Raquel wins the match. I rated 2 stars. It was pretty much just the same old for them all.
Yeah, it's the same way that all of their tag matches go. Like you said, she hits the Tijuana bomb, and that after Aaliyah gets beat up for hours.
Yeah. And I'm glad you remember that because I still call it that bomb thing every week, so I don't even mention it now.
I literally only remember that because you don't, and I always look it up.
Well, I'm glad that's the reason. Followed after that was a 5-way matchup, which was the women's match, which I don't list who was in it, but I think it was Ronda, Lacey was in it, Xia Li was in it, Deville was in it, and Natalia, I think, was in it as well. Yeah. So I didn't really go into the full depth with this. It was just usual. Everyone was kind of getting battered by Ronda Rousey. And then Deville and Ronda Rousey actually had a good exchange, which was good. Everyone else kind of got quick eliminated. Deville and Rousey eliminated Lee and Lacey with some submissions, and they had a bit of an exchange. And obviously, Deville looked pretty decent. Rousey ended up picking the win, and I rated that 2 1/4 star matchup.
Yeah,
it was fine.
It was good at the start. It made sense at the start because everyone piled in on Rousey, and then obviously it went the way we knew it was going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good that Deville got some decent offense in on Rousey as well. So yeah, she did look good.
Yeah, no, she definitely got good, which is good. I've also put a Smackdown sign at the top of the screen, which I've got to do earlier because I'm editing. So that's good. That's nicely there now. So we had a bit of the bloodline at that. They were on about the Sikoa, that Sikoa was happy that Zayn kind of saved him. Jay hates Zammy with a passion, which I still think's hilarious. I love it.
It's so noticeable
It's
as well.
just
like,
deadpan.
They play it so well.
Yeah, it's just like...
He's just like, yeah, Jimmy's like laughing.
Yeah.
Jay's just like, whatever.
So what they said was that so they wanted Soa to go out by himself, and then Sane said he'll go out with him, and then Jay went, well, if you're going to go out, we're all going to go out. It was pretty much just he hates Sane, and I love it.
Yeah.
There was a nice part backstage with Shayna and Ronda. So they were just having a kind of chat, and I'd love to see Ronda be in a tag team with Shayna because I feel like that's a way of getting away from the main of like the title picture, and they would be a good tag team.
It brings some shine to the women's tag division as well. If they don't necessarily have to win the titles, just going after them would be enough because they're two big stars.
Yeah, they'd be proper dominant as well, which would be good.
Yeah.
8-man tag followed via this, which was just a fun matchup. I rated 2 3/4 stars. It was, if I remember, it was Mansoor, Mace, and the M&M crap.
Marseille.
Yeah, DP's Lovers and Alpha Academy versus the Street Profits and Hit Row. It was just a fun matchup. Everyone got their stuff in. And it was just fun to see. Like, there was nothing special about it, but I still rated 2 3/4 because it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just like a lot of people getting all the stuff in, and everyone looked good, and then you get the winner at the end. Yeah.
Like, and that's what you needed from it. Like, when I first saw the matchup, I expected it to be absolute trash, I'm going to be honest, because I'm not a big fan of like. You see too many of these teams often, so I'm not a massive fan of them. But yeah, it was decent enough. So Alpha Academy came out next, and I'm loving Chad Gable more and more every week. The shoosh is just there. Yeah, like, I love it. He was talking trash about like the city and stuff like that, and then out comes Braun, because they were annoyed that Braun attacked him. Otis tried to stand up to Braun. Braun went Braun smash, and then he smashed Gable, and everyone was raving about the powerbomb, but it just looked like an average powerbomb to me. Like, it wasn't really special.
I feel like I've seen Braun Strowman do this stuff before.
Yeah.
Like, it's good that he's back, not knocking him, but don't make out he's done something that we haven't seen 1,000 times.
Exactly, yeah. And then we had a bit with Drew, which he was just discussing how he got cheated, and there's going to be consequences to this cheating, which then led straight into Drew versus Solar. This was fine. I rated 2. It was just an average match. I was expecting a bit more from it, but it was just really average. And obviously ended up with everyone kind of diving in. And I rated it like a 2.5. It was fine.
Yeah, like, if they'd have just let it go and just be purely one-on-one, I get why they didn't, but it'd have probably rated a little bit higher. But yeah, all the interference is there for story purposes. It did what it needed to do.
Exactly, like, and that's the end of SmackDown pretty much. But yeah, it was decent enough SmackDown.
SmackDown's just a watchable, like, it used to be a painful 2 hours, and now you don't feel like you've watched 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel like it's just going to keep going that way, then everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, and it's just, as I said, it's just like, it used to be bad, as in, like, you'd be watching for 2 hours and it'd be like 4 squash matches, and then nah. But yeah, it's fine now. You don't expect loads of like great matches every week. Like, this has been a pretty average week, but it's watchable, which is good.
Yeah, like when we started doing this, it was painful. Like Raw and SmackDown were painful to watch. We've got very, very lucky that everything changed when it did.
Oh no, I think we suffered for enough at the start. You know, we picked the worst time to do it, and then now we're being rewarded.
Now it's good.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was the end of SmackDown.
And that brings us to Raw.
That does bring us to Raw, so we're just going to mention now that we haven't reviewed NXT or Rampage this week because of reasons. Let's move on. So Raw was kicked off by good old Seth Rollins, which is great. He just discussed that he wants championship gold now. He's having no rematch with Riddle, which obviously means that he's going to have a rematch with Riddle. So Riddle kind of interrupts this and he goes, bro, and then runs in the ring and attacks Seth. And then out of nowhere, like Seth kind of flees. And then this segues to the Judgment Day on the ramp. And they offer Riddle to join the Judgment Day, which would be the most random thing. I can't imagine Riddle in the Judgment Day with like greased hair. You know,
like wearing a suit.
Yeah. So obviously Riddle declines, so the Judgment Day are quite annoyed by that, and it ends up with a matchup between Finn and Riddle. This was a very good opener for Raw. I rated it 3 stars, like decent back and forth match with a few distractions from the people on the outside, and it was a good opener to Raw.
Yeah, it's just a solid match. Both very good wrestlers, and you'd expect this type of match from them. Which means that they're doing it on TV. If they ever had a pay-per-view match, imagine how good it could be.
Yeah, definitely. And then this led to Riddle got beat down and he lost with the coup de grace. And obviously Rollins came out of nowhere and did a good old curb stomp again because he loves it.
He doesn't want to wrestle him anymore.
Yeah.
He's just going to keep attacking him.
But he did get attacked first. So that's fine. I nearly started reading about Dynamite then. That would have been terrible. So let's move on to this. So we had Damage Control backstage. They're pushing the narrative that they were cheated out the tag team titles due to Aaliyah pinning the wrong person, which is fair enough.
I know, yeah, they've got a case, haven't they?
Yeah, so at least in one time there is a case. And then we had Dominic backstage, and I hated this promo, I'm going to be honest. Dominic is so unbelievable. Like, in this promo, he's just like speaking like really menacing, and I'm just looking and going, "This is Dominic. I don't care."
Yeah, you say unbelievable, not as in good.
Yeah, just unbelievable as in this character doesn't work at all.
Yeah, I don't believe you're saying anything that is menacing in the slightest.
Yeah, I did like the Rhea part because Rhea's always good to see coming on stage, whispering in his ear, going, "She's your pappy now," probably, or something like that. It was fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Followed by Theory backstage, and then Gable comes in. And the whole essence of this promo is that Gable says that Johnny Gargano is now going to be Gable. It's going to be Johnny Shoosh. So fair enough.
Yeah.
And then we led up to the women's tag team title match, which was Raquel versus Damage Control. This was fine. This was probably the best the match Aaliyah's had. And it was the same formula involved, but then obviously Damage Control kind of picked up the win on it, which was good because it needed to happen because I was bored of their tag team after 4 weeks already. I rated 2 3/4. It was fine.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me, but yeah, it wasn't bad at the same time. We got the winners that we probably wanted at the start.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully now they'll go on a bit of a tear, defend them titles a bit, and maybe get to Baszler and Ronda.
Yeah, exactly, and that'll be a great thing. I'm wishing that. It's not going to happen.
No.
No, yeah. It'll probably be Ronda and Deville, which still wouldn't be bad, or Baszler and Deville, which actually wouldn't be bad. Either way, it's going to be fun. We had a segment at backstage with the Mysterios. So Ray's pleading to Dominic, and Dominic's basically ignoring him. That's the old promo. So Dom's just staring in front.
And then we get Rhea in.
Yeah, and Pappy's come over. So followed by this was the match of the night by a bit of a distance, which was Gargano versus Gable. It was just everything that highlighted it. So I rated 3.5 stars, but it showed Gable's great, which is still good, as I'm saying every week now, but it also highlighted how good Gargano is. And I think this kind of small guy picked what you needed for a good match for him.
This is like Gargano's first match in God knows how long as well.
Yeah.
So the look this good still is unreal.
Yeah, it's because he's Johnny Wrestling, isn't he? He's always going to look that good. But, Vince McMahon hated him and he's too small. He's never going to make it in WWE Raw, and look at him now.
Yep.
Already making it in my eyes. And then what happened was Otis tried to interfere. Gargano rolled out and kind of did like the suck it thing as he rolled out, which was homage to Triple H, obviously. And then Theory absolutely clocked him with the briefcase, so he kind of got his own one-upmanship.
Yeah.
What I'd found weird after this was Theory had a promo and Gargano was nowhere to be seen after this. Gargano must have just been taken out back, but it seems odd that he wasn't involved after this. But this was like one of the best promos I've seen, not from Theory himself, but from KO came down. And
this was great.
It was just a great promo. He was just saying that Theory, the essence of it was Theory is the same as every other guy that's come through in WWE, built as the look, and then he's the same as every guy that you don't see them anymore. He needs to get like the fire in him, etc., like that. Then I thought Theory was actually taking it on board, and then he basically did his heel kind of like, you wish you were me, and it's like, oh, Theory, which was good. But it's and then they had a little mini brawl.
Yeah, I said in one of the servers yesterday that I thought that if this change of creative would have happened before Money in the Bank, Theory wouldn't be Money in the Bank.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like Theory. He's just his character's a bit odd for it at the moment.
He could be very, very good, and probably will be very, very good. They didn't need to give him Money in the Bank for that.
Yeah, it's because of Vince McMahon, wasn't it? Though, as you said, it was his pet project, so he was always going to get it.
Yeah.
This was followed by a Bianca Belair Open Challenge. So she rolled down with her weavy hair, and she had a open challenge. Do you know who I thought was actually going to answer this, which was really random thinking about it now? Meiko Satomura from NXT, the NXT UK wrestler. Because she was on NXT this week having that title, and I thought, they might actually bring her onto like a main show. And then obviously I was disappointed slightly because Sonya Deville comes rolling down. I don't know, I built up, but there was no reason Meiko Satomura should be answering it, but my head was like, this will be good. And
Yeah.
But it was a good match. I'll be honest, it was a good match. Deville, in the last two matches, they've actually highlighted that she's pretty decent. In the 5-way, they didn't squash her. And in this match, she actually went toe-to-toe. I rated 3 stars. It's better than expected. It was fine.
Like we said with Deville, it was like she got the offense in on Rousey, and she looked good. She had a good match here against Belair, so they're making her believable. Even though she's losing, she's hanging in. They're making her believable, which is good.
Yeah, because like, all the women should have matches like this. There shouldn't be squash matches and stuff like that. Like they need to kind of weave them in. Like Xia Li and people like that, she's good, but she gets squashed so much at the moment. It's quite annoying. After this match, Bayley kind of came down, and she was talking trash to Bianca, and then she got in the ring with Bianca, and then it ended up with Bliss and kind of Oscar being down, and and I don't remember exactly what happened here. I mean, did they beat her down? I can't remember exactly. Or does she kind of? Oh, they do, don't they? Yeah, Bayley runs to get Bliss, and she ducks, and then they do attack her. That was it, yeah. So they kind of got a one-upmanship on Bayley. Next was Omos. We thought he was gone, but he's never gone. Omos forever, and now he's doing the squash matches again. He faced Ryan Toombs and a guy called Cash something. Omos, Barazzi. Omos squash, half a star.
Yeah, that tends to be every Omos match, I'll be honest. It's half a star.
Yeah. Moving swiftly on, we had Edge and Mysterio. Edge was basically, this whole thing, Mysterio was going, please don't do this, and Edge was going, it's happening, I'm going to beat your son's ass. Was pretty much the whole story of that. We had a bit of a moment between Seth and Lashley backstage, which Seth says he's going to be coming for the US title. And that's actually going to be a match next week, I'm looking forward to that, because Lashley's doing very well, and Seth can beat anyone right now. So
I was going to say, Seth can have a good match with anyone. So this would be great.
And then the penultimate segment before the main event, we had Miz in his family home, He was discussing supposedly of obviously what's been happening. Maurice comes out and says, "Are you done with the interview?" He says, "We haven't even started." They give him 5 minutes. They ask him, "The Miz, so what happened?" And he goes, "I don't want to talk about it." After all that, then has a massive rant, and then leaves. And they see the car pull out. They pull around, and Dexter Lumis is in the window of Miz's house, and he picks up a picture that he's drawn, and it's Miz and Maurice and their kids, which is weird. I love it.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's good.
Yeah, absolutely love it. And the main event we were all waiting for was Dominic Mysterio versus The Edge. It was average as balls.
It was always gonna be I love Edge, but he needs good wrestlers to have good matches.
Yeah,
Dominic is not a good wrestler.
And then it ended with Edge getting attacked because Mysterio tried to stop him absolutely destroying Dominic, which was what we all wanted. And it ended up with the Judgment Day absolutely obliterating Edge again and whacking, I think it was his arm, no, it was his leg on the coup de grace on the chair. And the final thing we see is Dominic in the ring looking proud.
The only thing that annoyed me about this is that I don't like the end of a show to be a DQ. Like, the last match on the show shouldn't be a DQ. That's just me. Yeah. I get why it happened for story, but do it earlier. Have a clean finish in your main event, please.
But yeah, that was the end of Raw. Raw was fine once again. Nothing special. There was a few good matches on it. Like Gargano versus Gable, Bianca versus Deville, definitely watchable. So yeah, we'll move swiftly on then to a good old Dynamite. So graphic up. I know what I'm doing now. So Dynamite, I watched it this morning, so it's fresh in the mind. So we had Moxley versus Gargano. That's already. I've already spoke crap. Moxley versus Guevara. This match would have been better if it wasn't so predictable. Like, there was no way Moxley was not going to win this match. There was a few good spots in it. I rated it 2 3/4 stars, but it was just, there was no mystery in the match. Moxley was winning this match.
Yeah, it's and I just don't like Sammy Guevara, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and the distraction bit was a bit pants as well. Like the blonde twins, I'm going to call them now, ran down to the ring. Anna Jay tried to distract the ref, and then Malo walked in the ring and absolutely hoofed Moxley in the balls. And then Guevara rolled him up, which should have been the win because the guy's just been hoofed in the balls, but no, he kicked out. But fair enough. Yeah, they're doing it a lot in AEW that people get kicked in the balls and they like instantly are fine. Wardlow did it a couple of weeks back. Kicking the balls is painful, man. So next up was MJF. It was his typical rundown kind of speech of what's going on. He's running down everyone. It was a typically good MJF promo. It was pretty much more of the same kind of thing. He was just running down the opponents and who deserves to have the championship. Then he introduces his best friend, Stokely Hathaway, and their group, The Firm.
What an odd couple.
Yeah, I do like how they've done this, though. They've said that they're only going to be together when MJF needs them, so they're going to go their separate ways they're not needed, which is good. So they were hyping the team, and then that was pretty much it for the promo. It was just an odd thing to see. Jungle Boy versus Jay Lethal was up next. This should have been better, and it annoys me that it wasn't better. And Jungle Boy was doing the thing that gripes me, that he sells his back and then he doesn't sell his back. I don't like when he's not selling stuff. To sell it or don't sell it. You know, it's...
Yeah, don't start selling it and then give up on it.
Yeah, because he was trying to do his snare trap, what he calls it, at the end of the match. And that's going to ruin his back, but it looked like fine when he was trying to get in. It's like, what's going on? It was an average match. I rated 2.5. There was a few distractions. It was fine.
Yeah, but it should have been better.
Yeah, because it's Lethal versus Jungle Boy.
Jack Perry.
No, he's actually Jungle Boy again, supposedly. I'm sure his name was announced as Jungle Boy again.
I'm sure I've read somewhere that he's going to Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
He is what he is, isn't he?
Next up was Luigi Perea, or whatever his name is, spinning a pizza. I've seen him wrestle
with AEW.
Yeah.
Like, you've got Danhausen. You don't need him at all.
But I like he's fine. He's fine. I don't want to see him on AEW. But he's fine on the Indies.
You don't need him on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Stick him on Dark or something if you want to do your comedy.
But he started.
This is your main flagship show. Don't do it.
For this, anyone that hasn't watched it, it's a guy and doesn't know him. It's a guy that looks stereotypically Italian. He's got a pizza dough in his hand and he starts flipping it, and then he gets absolutely hoofed by Ethan Page within 7 seconds of him introducing himself. He didn't even finish his introduction. And then he starts going, what's all these odd characters? And then Danhausen appears out of nowhere. And it was fun because Ethan Page was going, I'll show you a jester. I'm going to face the jester on Rampage. And then Danhausen doesn't realise it's him. He was going, and he suddenly goes, oh, which was fine.
You don't need 2 comedies on there.
No.
You don't need it.
Or at least put them together and it'll be fine. I don't mind comedies being together, but being separate would be a bit odd. Yeah. Matt Hardy's having a rivalry, a match with Darby Allin. I don't want this.
No.
They tried to hype it.
Darby Allin will do something absolutely mental, and Matt Hardy will come the worst off out of it.
Yeah, like they were hyping it. It was like, I just don't care about. I feel bad. I feel like I'm running down at the moment, but it was. I just don't want to see it.
Well, where's it come from, though? I don't get it.
Yeah, they tried to build it like this is a long-standing rivalry, and it was like, I don't remember your matches.
I don't even remember.
They did happen. They did happen because they showed footage. I just don't remember them.
Yeah, it was very early, I think.
Then we had a Hobbs squash match versus DiMartino. 0 stars rated this. It was just a move. Like, I can't even get it above 0 stars. Squash.
No.
And then I thought they kind of stopped Ricky Starks versus Hobbs after the squash Starks, but now they're bringing it back, and I don't know where they're going to go from it because he squashed Starks. So it's gone.
Yeah. So if you have Ricky Starks winning now, it's done.
Yeah, because he got squashed.
He has to be squashed again. Yeah, he has to be.
Unless Ricky Starks does a roll up, then it kind of works. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Swerve in Our Glory versus the Lucha Bros were next. This was your typical spot fest match, which was fine with. I rated 3 stars. It was fun. The main thing everyone's going to take from it is that Keith Lee got Canadian destroyed, which is fair enough because he's a massive guy. Yeah. So I enjoyed that. It was fine. And then it was followed by the Acclaim coming down. He was about to rap, but he didn't rap. He cut his own music. And they're going to face Swerve in their Glory next week for the tag team titles. So we're just slamming tag team title matches. I
was going to say it's the Grand Slam into next week.
Yeah. So that's going to be a matchup, which I'm going to be fine for. I like their match at All Out was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
A weird segment with Pac backstage where he was walking out the back. Whatever is the guy that looks like the guy out of South Park, the police officer out of South Park. I can't remember his name.
What's the Bob Brady?
Yeah. He starts interviewing Pac and goes, what do you think about this defeat? And then Pac goes mental at him going, I'm 2-time champion. And then Orange Cassidy sucker punches Pac. It was so out of character. And then he gets on the mic and goes, I'll face you for this title. And I was like, is that a heel move? I don't...
Yeah.
I was fine with it because I don't mind seeing Pac versus Cassidy. No. But it was just an odd way of getting to it.
Yeah, like you said, it was a very heel move to get a title match.
Exactly. Next up, Dr. Deeb is their tag team name versus Storm Athena. 2 tag team names are made up there. I rated 2 3/4. It was a good match. They cheated to win, which was always going to happen. And it was fine. It was better than most women matches on their division at the moment. They normally have very average matches. It was above average for myself.
Yeah. I have no idea why, but I predicted it for Tony Storm's team to win. And I've got no idea why, because it builds a challenger if the other team win.
Yeah. I didn't even turn up for that card I've just remembered. Yeah. The champion didn't turn up. I'm good at that. And then Athena decides to attack Baker because she's annoyed at it. Then Hayter comes down, and then Hayter is kind of teasing she's going to blast Baker because of the old situation they had, and then she blasts Storm with a chair. But then there's a bit of like watch yourself kind of between Hayter and Baker, so it's still leaning towards that.
Baker's apologising, and she's saying, I've apologised, and she's just like, no. But she hits the champion with the chair, she's getting a title match.
Yeah, and she's going to lose it.
Yeah. They're not going to have Toni Storm lose this early.
And I feel bad for Hayter, because they announced for Grand Slam next week, it's going to be Storm versus Baker versus Athena versus Deeb. Where's Hayter gone?
Another four-way.
Yeah.
She's going to come in and cost someone the match, isn't she?
Yeah,
we're going to end up with Baker against Hayter.
Yeah, like I would have been happily having Deeb in that match because I like Deeb. So replacing maybe Athena. What was Athena in it? Yeah, like she's not in that. She was with.
Did she just get like battered by Cargill?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Fair enough. But yeah, the main event was incredible. I'll be honest. Danielson versus Jericho. I rated 4.25 stars. Like it was chop fest at the start. Danielson was absolutely battering Jericho. Jericho actually looked like what had happened. He can't do anything. His facial emotions were great with it.
Yeah.
And then Danielson ended up injuring his foot, and Jericho suddenly you see his face go like, and then he rips off his boot and he starts absolutely hitting him. He does the sharpshooter or the figure four on the ring post, which you always like. He's working on the holds from that bit. Daniel Bryan comes a bit back from that point, and then he ends up picking the win by getting Jericho in the label lock, which Jericho's in it for a while, but then he realises he has to tap, which I do like that.
Yeah.
So it's a great story, and it's leading to Mox versus Bryan for the championship next week, which will be a good matchup. But I want Bryan to win it so much, but I feel like they're going to give it Mox for the third time.
Yeah, just to get the thing away from Punk, I think. They'll just... Because they're both joint two-time winners.
Yeah. But it's Moxley wanting to go on a 6 weeks holiday. Like, if you give him the title, is he going to lose it in 5 weeks when everyone's back? Yeah, so give it DB. Bride BD.
I'd prefer it to go to Bryan because I'm not massive on Moxley. But Moxley's the star, and he's more with AEW fans. It's Moxley over the Bryan.
Yeah, exactly. But he's had the title too many times due to it's not his fault, but it's also interim title, which was fair enough. And then obviously, if you're going to get it back straight away, it's pointless in my eyes, even though Punk messed it up. But yeah, Dynamite was fine. There's a few things that you pick out, but like overall, it was a good event. Fine.
Yeah, it's not like there's been a couple of weeks recently with Dynamite where it's been awful, and that's because they set their own high standards. But then last week was fine. This week, good. Yeah. No complaints.
All good. But yeah, that's the end.
But that is the week of wrestling so far, and as Ray mentioned before, due to reasons we haven't been able to review NXT and Rampage this week. Normal service will resume next week, but NXT was a bit of a landmark episode, so we'd be remiss not to just mention that they have gone through a bit of a rebranding. Hopefully, it means that they'll take the best of the black and gold from the best from 2.0, and we'll get a solid show.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see why it won't. Everything else that Triple H seems to have done is working, so hopefully NXT going forward will be better, and AEW start working on Rampage and making that a little bit better as well.
Yeah, and I'll actually watch it again.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, if the shows become good, I'm not adverse to watching them.
Yeah.
But for me, NXT has gotten better, and I have caught glimpses of it. I've not gone sort it out or anything like that, but if something comes up and I've had time, I've watched a couple of matches and stuff. So yeah, it's not the worst show in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully it starts improving and we watch it more intently, and then the B-Show becomes a little bit longer.
Yeah, and they probably should mention as well that Soa actually won the North American Championship. So Bloodline reigns.
Yeah, we're just missing a Sami Zayn title reign.
Yeah.
That is all missing.
Well, it's either he fights Lashley or he fights Gunther. He's having a good time either way, isn't he?
24/7, mate. 24/7.
That would be such a good character thing when he wins this really pants title.
Yeah.
And we go, look, guys.
I have to defend this every minute of every day. What are you doing?
And then Jay wins it. Oh no, that's good booking.
No, and to be fair, it was someone else mentioned that in another server. I couldn't tell you who, but I just thought the idea was really good. And we're putting it on the podcast.
I think it's actually dead though, isn't it? The 24/7. No, they haven't mentioned it since Triple H took over, has it?
I'm pretty sure Reggie had it or Dana Brooke.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. Like since Triple H though, it's not been seen.
No,
he's a smart man.
But yeah, he is. He is a very smart man. He's proving that every single week at the minute. So, well, yes, that is the end of the show. The end of the podcast, should we say. So you can follow us on our new Twitter handle of the HCW show. And our socials are underneath, because Ray has so perfectly put them there. Underneath the right person.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah.
which is an improvement. But yeah, you can give us a follow there. You can like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which we really appreciate all of the current subscribers and anyone else who wants to subscribe. Absolutely, it helps so much. Join our Discord. The links are in the video below. And we talk a lot of crap on Discord. But it's all in good fun. We've got a good bunch of people on there at the minute, so if you feel like dropping in, do that as well. But yeah, that is the end, ladies and gentlemen, so we will bid you good morrow.
Where's my title shot, FBL? Mucking.
Rock Dream.